Today I want to walk you through my 3S process for a brand design project I did a while ago for La Resistance, a skateboard and snowboard shop in Zell am See, Salzburg. In this way, I try to give you some insights on how I work, how I come up with ideas, and what happens actually step by step. So if you've ever wondered how a logo or a visual identity is created, this video is for you. Hi, my name is Gary. I'm a logo and brand designer from Austria, and I help independent business owners build recognizable brands on a strategic foundation so they attract the right people and stay future-proof. So maybe you know this kind of feeling that you run a super cool business and you have kind of a brand, but it doesn't feel quite right. It maybe feels a little bit do it yourself, or it doesn't reflect your quality of work. It maybe feels a little bit outdated. Or you're just afraid of hiring a designer because you don't really know what you actually get. And that's exactly why I want to make this kind of video. So let's start with the client situation and the problem. Peter, the founder of La Resistance, hit me up if I could help them. They are an established skateboard and snowboard shop. They have already a great community and they're around since the year 2000. And for sure, they already had a bunch of cool brand visuals which the community really appreciated. But over the years, they kind of lost their direction and the fire they once had. So to say it in the words from Peter, it feels like sitting in a ship with no direction, with no flag we are sailing under. And this is actually something I hear again and again from independent business owners. That feeling when the brand is kind of there, but it doesn't really represent you anymore. And this is exactly the point where my 3S process kicks in. My go-to framework when it comes down to branding projects. It splits in 3 simple steps: strategy, system, sustain. And I'm going to walk you through each of these steps. Not just what I do, but also why I do it. Because when you understand the reason behind all of that, you'll see that nothing in this project is random. So let's jump straight into phase 1, the strategy. Before we draw a single line, we walk through a set of deep questions on a Zoom call. It's about values, it's about the goals, the vision, the mission, purpose, stuff like that. It's also about who is your dream customer, who are your competitors. I think this step is super important because a beautiful designed logo that's not rooted in strategy and a story is just decoration somehow. This phase makes actually sure that everything we build means something and points in a direction. And don't worry, for sure, you don't have to figure out all these answers by yourself. This is like literally what this strategy session is for, and I guide you through it. In the case of La Resistance, we, for example, discovered that the shop building has actually a very important story to tell, because Peter's great-grandfather had already a very cool business there. Somehow very interesting. He was a painter and he created hand-drawn black letter typefaces. And Peter has also one of these signs with these black letters in his store. The second thing that we came up with was that Peter wants a shop where everybody feels welcome. A shop where you can meet people, where you can have a good time. And it should feel like some kind of this modern Tante Emma store, rooted in tradition, but really tied to clarity for the future. So these are really cool bits and pieces, right? Once we have the strategic direction, we go to the visual direction. Therefore, I set up a shared Canva whiteboard where both sides can collect what we really like and what we actually don't like. And we also have some kind of protocol in there where we can write down all our decisions, our ideas and stuff like that. As soon as we have a good set of inspiration like graphics, photos, fonts, colors, etc. in place, we jump on a alignment call where we filter and narrow down the visual direction. Why do we like these colors? Why do we like the fonts? Why we don't like specific stuff? In this way, we really can narrow down on the things we want to achieve. you know, this is a collaboration and not me disappearing for 3-4 weeks and coming back with something you've never seen before. And when we figured out the strategic and the visual direction, we go to phase 2, which is the system. This is where the magic happens. And you know what? It starts with pencil and paper. Because it's sketching time. It's rough, it's sometimes very ugly, it's sometimes chaotic, but it's very valuable. No rules, because the best ideas sometimes come from the chaos. As soon as I have some kind of good set of sketches together, I'll send this over to the client and we start a little feedback loop. So you see, it's very important that you are really involved into the whole process. So what was the story anchor for La Resistance? As I said, Peter's great-grandfather worked in this very building as a painter. He created beautiful black-letter typefaces, and this definitely became a core direction. From the strategy session, we know that we want to connect the past, the present and the future. After we picked our favorite sketches, it's time to start the digital part. It's from sketch to vector using Adobe Illustrator, using Procreate or Fresco. So in this step, we refine the sketches, explore vector versions, and build out the visual identity system, which contains icons, a clean logo type, combinations of both, badge variants, whatever is needed. And we also define the brand colors and the typography. And this whole system is built to sustain, which is the next step. Phase 3, sustain. The goal here is to bring everything into place, so the brand can be put into the real world. These include stuff like mock-ups, a brand board, brand guidelines, export files, a brand launch checklist, merge graphics, supporting illustrations. The outcome completely depends on the needs and the scope of the project. From here, we are totally set for everything to come. So this is not just about handing over some JPEGs and SVGs, but more of a brand toolbox and instructions to build a brand that is future-proof. So what did Peter actually get out of this? He now has a clear, cohesive visual identity that works everywhere. Social media, print, merch, signage, no more patchwork, no more does this fit to our brand? Because now there's a clear answer. But more than that, La Resistance is not just a snowboard and skateboard shop. They can now stand next to established brands and hold their own. So they have now something to be proud of, a flag that they can sail under. At this point, big shout out to Peter and the whole La Resistance crew for trusting me. And if you're around in town from Zell, definitely go check them out. Cool place, awesome store, and a bunch of amazing people. So, you know, this process is not just to create a beautiful logo or something that looks pretty. It's about building something that lasts decades. So if you are an independent business owner and you want to have a brand that reflects your quality of work, a brand that is on point, a brand that is future-proof, let's talk and hit the link in the description. And also subscribe to this channel. I hope this video was helpful. I hope this gave you some insights on the process. And yeah, I see you in the next one. I'm Gary from Strongton. Peace.